What's up everyone, OJ here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 games of E3. So keep in mind guys, this is games, so stuff like the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC, while that was absolutely hype, that's not necessarily a game, that's just DLC for a game that was already out, so just keep that in mind when we're talking about this. But yes, Banjo and the hero from Dragon Quest XI, yeah, that's actually super hype. So definitely up there when it comes to my own personal things, but we're talking about games here. Now, I do have about 3 games on this list that didn't quite cut it right for the top 10, so I'm going to go over those, and that is Oninaki, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, and also Code Vein. All of those games are going to be great. I'm looking forward to them. They're all coming out this year, but they were just outside of it when it comes to my E3 top 10 games. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Number 10, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on the Nintendo Switch. So The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is a full remake of the original Game Boy game. They added in this really cool dungeon maker type of thing, or randomized type of deal, to where you can play and earn cool rewards for the game. And on top of that, the graphics in this game just look absolutely incredible and unique. It's not like an incredible, like, oh my gosh, look at all the different polygons and the textures and all this stuff, but incredible in terms of the art style, the clay, the shine, the polish, how they put that from a Game Boy game and said, how are we going to do this on a system however many years later, more than 2 decades or something like that later. It's absolutely incredible. I love what they did with the game. I like the gameplay, the refinements, what they showed off. It just looks like they even made more improvements from what we already saw, which is the classic Nintendo type of deal to do. So coming in at number 10 is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. Number 9, Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Nintendo Switch, launching this year as well. So Luigi's Mansion 3, very interesting game, because there's so many people that feel that, you know, they need to go back to Luigi's Mansion 1, but then again, I like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. So it seems like to me that they took the feedback from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which did really well on the Nintendo 3DS, took out some of the best things from that game, for example, like online multiplayer, and then also took out one of the things that they added into the remake, or the port, or whatever you want to call it, for the Nintendo 3DS with the original Luigi's Mansion with the co-op, and said, hey, you guys are going to get the best of both of these things that we've done in the past. So you get the co-op in there with Guigi, which is really funny and pun-ish, and then you also get the online multiplayer that was part of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, but they doubled the player count all the way up to 8 different Luigis, so that's just crazy right there. Graphically, the game has been polished up even more from what we saw from last year at the Nintendo Direct, and they've also added in new moves like the slam move, for example. So I'm excited to get into all the different stuff that you can do with the Poltergeist or Poltergust 3000, whatever that thing's called that Luigi has when it comes to it, and all the different gadgets and stuff that you're going to be able to acquire and the upgrades. It seems like it's going to be a really good Luigi's Mansion game, and the developers have already talked about the game being more like Luigi's Mansion 1. So I think that it's going to be a really good game. They're going to take what they've learned over the course of like 20 years now or something like that, almost 20 years when it comes to the original Luigi's Mansion and Dark Moon. Now they're doing this one with next level games. So coming in at number 9 is Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Nintendo Switch. Number 8, Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition on the Nintendo Switch. So let me give you guys a little bit of history with this game and me. I actually played it back on the PlayStation 4 in 2018 last year. I put about 30 hours into it until I got some information that Dragon Quest XI S on the Nintendo Switch was going to add a bunch of cool stuff to the game, and I was like, you know what, I can wait, and I'm so glad that I did, because there's some major things for me that makes this version on the Nintendo Switch a lot better. And the biggest thing, at least for me, is the fact that they have the orchestrated music and they also have Japanese voiceovers. The English in the game, necessarily not the best. I mean, it wasn't horrible in terms of the dub and everything, but I think that the subs and having the original Japanese voices is going to be really good. You combine that with the music, because you're going to be listening to music a lot, and in the PS4 version, the music wasn't very good, but now they have that fully orchestrated soundtrack in this one, plus a bunch of quality of life stuff when it comes to menus, organization, what you can do on there, exclusive different things in there. On top of that, on the overworld, it actually shows all the characters this time as well. So you have a bunch of quality of life stuff. You actually have extra content put in, which they're going to talk a little bit more, and they showed up just a bit, which is some of the stories, the unique stories for each of the characters after you've completed the game. So there is extra content, there is quality of life, there is other improvements, visual and UI wise. So to me, this is definitely going to be the version to play, and I'm looking forward to playing it this September as well on the Nintendo Switch. Number 7, Daemon Ex Machina. So when this game first got its demo, there was a lot of people saying that it was going to get delayed. There was a lot of people saying that it's not going to be a very good game, that they don't know why they put this game out. Whatever the case is, that it's horrible. But people who actually explored the prototype missions that they put out there, and you actually upgraded your equipment and you replayed the missions, you kind of realize that there was a lot of potential in what they can do. And with our feedback, we can make this game a lot better. Now, what they showed off this year at E3 has been a revolution compared to what they had before, which was the old build in terms of what we actually got our hands on. And they've improved things across the board when it comes to the speed, ending lag of certain attacks, also the controls, which is the biggest thing that people were talking about, the controls and the frame rate. But the controls have been completely revamped. The default controls are better in terms of what you can do. You can customize more options in there. And for many people, there was the gyro control. People were saying there's no gyro to kind of aim. That is going to be a big one. The flying controls have been tweaked as well. And on top of that, they actually have a competitive multiplayer mode that they've added in addition to cooperative multiplayer as well. So you have co-op, you also have competitive, you have completely refined and customizable controls, you have better quality of life stuff when it comes to looting enemies, you also have easier indicators to see what's going on, better flight controls, more responsive, and also more forceful action as well. So it feels like you're kind of shooting that has more impact to it. So they've improved things across everything, and I knew that they were going to do that because they were asking for our feedback. And if they're asking for our feedback with the old version of the game and they're already making improvements, of course they're going to make a ton of different stuff to make it better. And from what I've seen here, the frame rate is also better as well in certain segments. So I think that this game is going to be really good. I'm excited to play it, and it comes out once again September. Dragon Quest, Link's Awakening, and also this game, Daemon Ex Machina, all in September of this year. Number 6, No More Heroes 3. So Travis Touchdown and Sylvia both return in the return after a decade of absence in terms of a mainline entry exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. Travis is officially back, and they showed off that simulated type of trailer gameplay of what we're going to be getting in this. And this is going to be a 2020 game, and it's going to retain all of the craziness. It's going to retain the voice actor for Sylvia and also for Travis, and it's going to retain all of the cool different wrestling moves and cyber beam action and even blood. They edited it. They have a better trailer to where there's blood in it. I'm not going to be playing that one, but I will have a link for it in the description below. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of stuff in this game. You know it's going to be zany, and that's what I'm looking for. Now, some other things that return in this game as well, there are going to be open-ended like city type of Sand and Destroy that you can return to as well. I think it takes place about a couple years after Travis Strikes Again at No More Heroes. So there's so much different things that they're going to be doing into this game. They're going to have some mini games and stuff like that. It's going to retain the same action that you know of. So I'm looking forward to moving around Sand and Destroy and getting back into the typical No More Heroes when it comes out exclusively on the Nintendo Switch in 2020 at some point. Number 5, Cyberpunk 2077. So let me tell you guys something. All you need to know is that Keanu Reeves is in this game. All right, let's move on to the next one. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Keanu Reeves is in this game, and it actually looks really cool. They showed off Cyberpunk 2077, little CG trailer at Microsoft's press conference, and then a little bit of a roll of gameplay footage as well. This game is coming out April of next year, and it looks like you're going to be able to have so many different augmentations and so many different types of things in this open world. And it kind of takes the place of the Deus Ex because that game's not around, but it has that same feel to it, but completely open world this time. And I'm a big fan of that franchise. So I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. And did I tell you guys that Keanu Reeves is in this game? Number 4, Trials of Mana for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and also PC. So this game, oh my gosh, this one blew me away. Out of all the different games in terms of my reaction and everything, I literally was blown out of my seat because of this, because I didn't think Square Enix would have the fortitude to literally remake what many people consider to be the best game in the Mana franchise, and that is Seiken Densetsu 3. The fact that they're remaking this game, a full remake, and it's not like that remake that they put out for the original Secret of Mana, or not the original, but Seiken Densetsu 2, which we call Secret of Mana here in the West. It's not like that. It doesn't have like that feel to it. It has a completely 3D controllable camera in addition to way higher quality graphics and so many different things added in. It is just mind-blowing that they went from the Secret of Mana remake that they showed off back on the PS4 and PS Vita, and I think it's on PC too or something like that, to what they're showing us with Trials of Mana is just absolutely incredible. And when I saw that, I couldn't believe it, but Square Enix is definitely back. I mean, there's a lot of Square Enix games on this list, and with Trials of Mana, it just goes to show that Square Enix is not playing around. They're gonna have a very successful 2020, that's for sure, because this game will be launching in early 2020. Once again, PS4, PC, and also the Nintendo Switch. And the Treehouse Live demo gameplay of it just looked absolutely phenomenal. Very faithful, but at the same time, completely new. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the little other new things that they do add into the game, because the gameplay looks just so fast and fluid and fun. Number 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PlayStation 4. So this game is a long time coming. 4 years after the original reveal for it, we finally got some gameplay, solid details, and what they're doing with the combat system in the game. And I absolutely love what they're doing. It seems like this really cool hybrid of the ATB battle gods that you have, and then also an action RPG. The graphics look absolutely incredible. This is probably the best looking Japanese RPGs and one of the best looking games I've ever seen from an artistic and graphical standpoint. They have all sorts of effects going on screen, all sorts of stuff happening, the voice acting, the original feel. It just feels like you're just playing this crazy version of Final Fantasy VII that never happened, and like you transported into the future and got this futuristic tech, but it's just the PS4. It's where we're at right now at this point, and I can't believe what they've done with it. But it's been a long time coming, and it's coming early 2020, March from what I understand here, or at least what they showed off. Hopefully there's no delays. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake is looking amazing, and that's what netted it at number 3 on my list. Number 2, Fire Emblem Three Houses. So what they showed off at E3 2020, which not with gameplay, but a little bit more of the story, is that there's going to be a 5-year time skip with all the different Three Houses past that you can pick after the war and what it's done to them. And that just struck a chord. Like, that just struck a nerve with me, like, oh my gosh, this game is going to be a tearjerker. There's going to be a lot of an even darker storyline in this game that we've gotten before, because of how they showed the characters 5 years later and what happens in the effects of war. To me, this game is going to have like an infinite, almost infinite number of replay value with these 3 different paths, and the fact that there's going to be different things, different cutscenes on each path that you take. And I didn't think they were going to have some type of 5-year time skip. That was a completely new thing that they've thrown into the mix, and basing it off the gameplay that I've seen, refinements to it, this is probably going to be the best Fire Emblem game ever created, in my opinion, based off of what they've shown, the combat, all the stuff that they've added in, and the story elements. This looks like it's going to be an epic ride that's really going to command your attention for 3 playthroughs. So I'm really looking forward to Fire Emblem Three Houses on the Nintendo Switch. Number 1, Astral Chain. I have never been this impressed. After watching the second gameplay video and watching Tora-san go through and switch different legions and show off the complexity, show off the combat options, show off all the different things that you can do, this is by far one of the most impressive games that I've ever seen from a combat standpoint. There is so much variety and flavor and style into this game. It oozes style. The gameplay elements in this game. So you have on-bike segments where you're riding on the bike and you're shooting people. You also have segments to where there's open-ended detective stuff that you can do, like in Batman Arkham Asylum or Batman Arkham City. But then you also have action combat, like for example, like Bayonetta. Oh, but then there's also a lot of RPG elements that's in there as well. Collecting red matter, upgrading your legions, doing all the different stuff, having HP, all that. It's like they took all of my favorite elements of this game, that game, this game, that game, and put it into one and said, here you go. Oh, and by the way, there's a bunch of customization in the game in terms of your own character and what you do there. They also have some puzzle elements that they showed off, but they also showed off legion switching and being able to skillfully take out harder bosses. This is just incredible. This game has the difficulty, this game has the aesthetics, this game has the graphics, this game has the combat, this game has the sleek, the shine. This game, Astral Chain, is definitely going to be Game of the Year contender. It's a huge Game of the Year contender for me, and I feel that they're doing everything right with this game. So I'm looking forward to more action, showing off more of the gameplay, because this game is just looking absolutely incredible. And the fact for me that it made it over Final Fantasy VII Remake and Fire Emblem Three Houses kind of goes to show you how impressed I am with the gameplay that I saw from it from E3. All right, guys, so what is your top 10 games of E3? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.